Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 46 of Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer. This
Woohoo!
show, yes, woohoo! I definitely echo that sentiment, Erica. How's it going? How are
It's
you?
good. It's good. I'm so excited. It's an exciting day for our guest, and I'm just feeling a lot of energy today. Once again, I was dancing behind the scenes to the music. And Tim, I think I'm going to
Yes.
make up a dance, like an official Perspectives on Cancer dance. So stay
Ooh,
tuned for that.
I love it. I love it. It definitely gets me going as well. And our guest actually it's his book launch day today. I mean, I was
Yes.
gonna wait to tell you, but it's actually his book launch. I just couldn't keep it inside. But we'll tell you more about that in a few minutes. So, guys, this show is created as a safe space where cancer patients, survivors, and supporters all come together in this space we created here to share their stories and connect, as well as find resources that provide healing, hope, and resilience. My name is Tim Sohn, a 15-year cancer survivor, host of Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer, and a live streaming producer and coach for nonprofits, businesses, and entrepreneurs who make a positive impact in the world. Over to you.
Yes. I am Erica Campbell. I am myself a 4-year survivor of breast cancer. My other perspectives include I am a longtime childhood cancer volunteer. I am a leader of a nonprofit that helps kids with cancer and their families. It's called the Pinky Swear Foundation. And I am what I call a cancer orphan after losing my mother to breast cancer nearly 20 years ago. So I have lots of perspectives on cancer. And one of the things that as I have gained to this perspective is the importance of community. And so in the chat, we want to continue to build this amazing community. Please let us know where you are. Like I always keep wanting to say dialing in from, where you are streaming in from, and what is your connection to cancer. And give a shout out to somebody else that you see, somebody you know, somebody you don't know, and let's give some support to each other. So please join us in the comments. Let's continue to build community. And we encourage you just to connect either in or outside of this show.
Yes, definitely do that. And before we bring on our guest today, I almost said tonight. The show used to be at 8:00 at night. I'm still getting used to this 3:00 in the afternoon thing, Eastern time. I want to remind you guys that in just a little bit over a month, we're having our first ever in-person Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer event here in Pennsylvania on Saturday, November 5th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You can go to perspectivesoncancer.com to sign up for free. It is in partnership with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, as well as the Pinky Swear Foundation and all of our 23 other sponsors who are so generously supporting the event. Nancy Barrows is going to be our keynote speaker. Rachel Druckenmiller is going to be giving an inspirational talk and song. And breaking news, Savio Clemente is going to be our in-person, first ever in-person Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer episode guest. It will be live streamed as well. He is a stage 3 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma survivor and author. He also coaches cancer survivors to overcome the confusion and gain the clarity needed to get busy living in mind, body, and spirit, and so much more. So I'm so excited to have him as the guest for our first ever in-person, as well as live streamed episode of Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer. So Erica, who is our guest for today's episode of Showing Up?
I am pleased to introduce Howard Brown. He is a 2-time cancer survivor, entrepreneur, interfaith healer, healthcare advocate, and author officially as of today. His new book is called Shining Brightly, and it is, like I said, officially launched. And I actually brought a quote today. This is my inspirational quote of the day. What are you waiting for? Right? This to me is going to summarize our conversation with Howard Brown. He's a mover and a shaker. Welcome, Howard, to the show.
What's happening?
Woohoo!
How's everyone doing? I'm so thrilled to be here on my launch date. Thank you for having me on Perspectives of Cancer. Big fan of the show. And thank you for all you do for patients, survivors, advocates, and families and care people. This is an amazing platform, and I'm just grateful to be here.
Well, we're so excited to have you, Howard. Congratulations on your book, Shining Brightly. And we're definitely going to talk about that in a few moments. You must be so excited. It's your official launch day today, right?
Yes. So you go for a month. We did what's called pre-order period, and it's just a lot of publicity. But today's the actual day that the Kindle ebook, you get your email code. The people that made pre-orders for the hard copy and the paperbacks, the shipping starts beginning, and it's amazing. They turn on things on the Amazon page, like the look inside the book. You can now look inside and pick a chapter and go get a sampling. It's all this stuff kind of magically happens that I'm learning, and I'm thrilled and excited about it today.
That is so exciting. That's so exciting. But well, welcome. And before we dive into the conversation, we just want to thank everyone who's tuning in here on Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer. We have many people tuning in from around the globe. So we just want to shout out some people who are tuning in. Dimitri is here from Guatemala. So thank you for being here, Dimitri. And Savio is here. He's saying he's ready, Howard.
Welcome, Savio.
Oh, I love Savio. I made that introduction. He's such a key guy. Yes. And the article he did with me went global, and he's amazing on how I survived cancer, and this is how I did it. I see Carrie McClelland is coming in from Alaska. Anchorage, Alaska's in the house.
Awesome. From Guatemala to Alaska.
Cool.
Yes.
And I saw our prior guest, Terry Tomoff. Hi, Terry.
Yes. Welcome, Terry. Terry's been doing an amazing job. She's been doing a video every single day in September for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So amazing job with that, Terry. She's had both of us on. Juana is here. She says, hi, Tim. Good to see you. Good to see you, Juana. Welcome. It's so great to see you here. Stefan Kaplan is here, my good friend. He's so often here at the show. He says, I've lost way too many friends to cancer. Love this incredible supportive community you guys are creating. My BFAM rocks. BFAM, Howard, means brother from another mother, in case you were wondering. And Tom Tressler is here. He says, checking in from Cincinnati.
Hi, Tom.
Welcome. Kathy is here. She says, hey, Erica, coming from
I love Kathy. Kathy and I met at an event pre-COVID, and she is just a force of nature. Wonderful to see you here, Kathy.
Awesome. And Jennifer is here. Welcome, Jennifer. James Patron is here. Welcome. Rich Gaston is here. All of you who are showing up, whether you're live or on the replay, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you all so much for showing up. So, Howard, how about let's dive into the conversation? Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
You're ready. Let's go. So, Howard, tell us your story and your journey. Now you're a 2-time cancer survivor, but let's go back to your first diagnosis when you were in your 20s.
Sure. So I basically I grew up outside the suburbs of Boston, and great childhood. I have a twin sister that'll come up later on. And my parents got married really young, and I went to amazing college, Babson College, the #1 school for entrepreneurship, and I'm starting my career. And I got promoted. I'm moving to Dayton, Ohio. And on the long drive out on the Pennsylvania freeway, I noticed a little red lump right here on my cheekbone, right up near my left ear. I didn't know what it was, but I stopped to get gas. And in 1989, you had to get out of your car to use a payphone. I called my mom and I said, I got something there, because you can tell your mom anything, right? And she's like, well, maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's a pimple or a cyst or something. And I just kept on going on my way and made it to Dayton, Ohio, and started a brand new job with NCR Corporation. And the pink little thing started getting bigger. And so I was there for a couple of weeks, and my mom came to visit me because as a bachelor, getting clean sheets and getting, dishes and getting a condo all set up, she was needed. And immediately when I picked her up at the Dayton airport, she said, something's not right. And the red spot was getting bigger. I wore glasses at the time, and it was hanging off my face. And I made up every excuse you could think of. I got hit playing basketball. I got hit with weights at the gym. It's nothing. It's just, don't worry about it. And it just so happened to be that a week later, I was flying back to Boston to speak at an American Bankers Association about disaster recovery and an electronic disaster recovery plan. And my dad, I flew in, and my dad played a trick on me. We usually go work out, play tennis, go jogging, do something athletic, then have breakfast. And he took me to a local hospital, and they gave me some antibiotic and said, see ya, you'll be okay. But I wasn't okay because it started to get bigger, and I wasn't feeling good. So Monday, I give my talk in Boston. I come home, and I'm about to go to the airport later, and my dad took me back to that hospital, and they end up doing a biopsy. And they end up coming back and doing a second biopsy. So they took pieces of what was there, and they said there was some ununiform structure. I didn't have any clue with it, and I did not have time for it. Basically, they stitched me back up, and I was on my way to Florida. And at that time, things were analog. There was busy signals. We didn't have computers and cell phones or the yet. So my parents were freaking out because they didn't know what was going on. And I went on my way. I just started making excuses about why I had that little red bump there, and it was getting bigger, and it actually grew to the size of a golf ball. And Dana-Farber, for those out there, Dana-Farber Cancer Institute is downtown Boston. It's one of the world's renowned research cancer hospitals in the world. And I ended up getting a call back to come back. And I showed up at this local hospital. I had like a team of people there this time, and they said, you have an appointment at Dana-Farber Cancer Institute at 2 p.m. You should go now. And I went there, and I did some tests, but I walked in there, and I ended up seeing old people. I'm 23 years old. So I walked down the hall to the Jimmy Fund, which is pediatrics, where they deal with lymphomas and leukemias. And I sat with the kids until I was called and did some testing. And I was brought into the office of this Dr. George Canales, who invented lymphoma chemotherapies. And he had a big mahogany desk. And behind him was this Harvard fellow named Eric Rubin. My mom and dad were off to my left. And he said, young man, you have stage 4 accelerated T-cell non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. It's a blood cancer of your lymphatic system, and it's aggressive, and we're going to try to pound it out. And then all I heard was Charlie Brown. Wonk, 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 wonk. I didn't hear anything. I was a deer in the headlights. I looked up at Eric Rubin, who is a little older than I was. He's probably 37 years older, and he's doing his Harvard fellowship. And I go, what is going on? And I look back, and my mom's in tears. My dad looks like a statue because he's just in shock. Wow. And I basically was told that to get my affairs in order, they didn't know if they could help me or not, but they were going to try. And we left that place kind of dizzy. And my dad ended up going to the library and getting a book because we didn't have the internet. And we started to talk to friends and relatives a little bit and trying to learn. But I was in complete denial. And we had my twin sister, come over that night. We told her, and we just cried a lot. And it was devastating. And we really thought that I wasn't going to make it. It was tough.
Wow.
So I'll continue the story because I'll try to shorten it up a little bit, but there was no good news. I went to my 5th year high school reunion, and I heard the whispers, poor bastard, he's going to die. So, it's just awful. And, cut down and just graduating college and starting his career. And I lost all my hair right away after treatments, and I kept failing chemo treatments and chemo cycles. It wasn't getting any better. And the only piece of good news I got was in late February, they said, you know what, we're going to type your twin sister for bone marrow transplant. And thank God she was an exact HLA 100% match. And that was the first piece of good news I had gotten in months. And we started to make plans, and, I'm immunosuppressed. We're all learning about this now with COVID, but this is 1989 and into 1990. And my immune system, I was very susceptible. So my mom was, keeping the house clean. I was wearing masks, and I had to be careful. I was traveling to Dana-Farber almost every day. We lived about 25 minutes away for blood transfusions, for workups, or sometimes I had to go into the hospital for some of my chemo. anyhow, it wasn't great news. I turned 24 years old and we headed towards the bone marrow transplant. Now things are different now. This is 33 years ago. But I did tons of chemotherapy and full body radiation next door at Brigham and Women's Hospital, and 20 minutes twice a day, heavy duty stuff, right? And I got my sister got called in the morning of the 24th of May. They extracted bone marrow from her. They cleaned it, and at 5 o'clock that day, they infused it into me. And they told me when I signed the paperwork for the transplant, you know, when you take an organ or blood or someone else and put it into you, it could not work. It could kill you right away. Graft versus host disease. It could kill you over a little bit of time, or thank God, let's hope it works. And it actually works. So I was rebuilding my entire immune system with my sister's blood, and it basically killed the malignancy. And it's a miracle. And then I did a clinical trial for interleukin-2, and that helped build my natural killer cells up. And I went through the 5-year period to getting to what they call remission. They never say cured, and got to rebuild my life again. So I will tell you that miracle, I feel blessed, I feel grateful, and I feel lucky. And medical technology and a twin sister helped. And I left out a very key story that I'll get back to in a second, but it was amazing.
Yeah. So that is incredible. And it's probably also quite rare that your sister was 100% match for you, Howard. So what was your relationship with your sister before the cancer and after?
So it was, answer the question, 25% chance of being a match, even though she was, a fraternal twin and a male and female. So if you know those match services, Be the Match or Gift of Life, it's like hitting the lottery.
Yeah.
1 in 25,000 chance to actually have a donor match. I mean, imagine, needing a liver transplant or a heart transplant. Again, it's hitting the lottery. And she was an exact match. So my twin sister is my best friend. She's also my wife's best friend, Lisa. She is amazing. Because we were girl boy and I was sort of outgoing and athletic, she was a little more introverted, but we were great growing up there. We always had a playmate. We always had a friend. And this, I would have done it for her, but she did it for me. She gave to save her brother's life. And she would do it again. And so we're super, super close. She is an amazing person. She gives to everybody. And CJ Brown Gingras, I love you. Shout out. Amazing, amazing person. And, it's amazing to be a twin. And I moved to Michigan to be close to her and raise our families together. So amazing being a twin.
Mm-hmm. Does she often joke with you and say, hey, don't forget I saved your life? Or
Well, she doesn't do it that way, but she's the older twin now, which 5 minutes. Yeah. So, growing up, I wanted to be the older twin, but now she wants to be the younger twin. She doesn't do that. But we have a little joke. We call ourselves the Wonder Twins, like the cartoon.
Oh, yes.
The Wonder Twins, form of water.
Yep.
So we do the fist bump and we Wonder Twins, but we are the Wonder Twins. And she's amazing. I want to get back to one thing, though, is that my doctor, Eric Rubin, did something that needs to be done. And he basically, I came in before I did any chemotherapy, any infusions, and my liver function test was too high. So I didn't do chemotherapy. I stayed up all night. I was a nervous wreck. And I come in there and they no chemo today. So, go home. And he said, but we're going to send you on a field trip. And he says, we're going to the cryogenic center at the Newton Wellesley Hospital, 15 minutes away. I have an appointment there for you. I'd head over there. I was like, you just told me that I'm not going to live. Why am I going to the sperm bank? And he says, what else are you going to do today? And I have to tell you that a lot of oncology and physicians, they feel very uncomfortable talking about, fertility and all that. But Dr. Eric Rubin had the foresight, the vision, the message from God. I don't know, to do that for me, even though we had no idea if I was going to live or die. So I ended up going there. I left a sample and I sort of forgot about it. Right. We made a joke about it, like forget Paris. They had to run the sample, you had to drive it to the clinic. And it was amazing. And I am here to say that our miracle daughter, born in, 11 years later, we defrosted sperm. Lisa made eggs. I have a beautiful baby miracle girl named Emily. It's incredible. She's going to graduate at the University of Michigan this year. And
Oh my gosh.
How blessed am I and are we in this world? She's going to make her impact in the world. It's amazing. So a bone marrow transplant from my twin sister. Okay. Frozen sperm gives me a daughter, and a lot of stuff happens in between, but amazing.
That is so cool. And what a generous moment for that gentleman to, have that uncomfortable conversation with you, but also literally change your life. That is super cool. Thanks for sharing that, Howard.
Yes,
it's
definitely.
Awesome.
Definitely awesome. So everyone, we're here on Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer. Our guest is Howard Brown. And Howard, so what do you think was the key to you defying the odds in your first cancer diagnosis?
Well, medical technology, I was definitely there. My family and my friends, even though we were living in the analog days of the 90s, early 90s, we rallied the troops, and unconditional love and support, prayer, it all there. And that's what it takes when you get knocked down. And listen, people get knocked down emotionally, physically, financially, in relationships, from job loss, divorce, health. It can be anything. But when you get knocked down by cancer, it cuts down to your core. So I wanted to basically rebuild my life, and I needed to do that, but I needed to move away. And I wanted the sunshine, the waves, and the beach of Southern California. I moved to Los Angeles to basically put Humpty Dumpty back together again. And I was 135 pounds and bald. I needed to build my confidence. I needed to build my physical fitness back. I needed to kind of get things going again. And I just moved where I didn't know anybody. And I started to put the puzzle pieces back together again. And survivorship takes work. Yeah, and it starts with you and your inner core. And so that rebuilding that mental toughness, being able to, get myself back. So my stamina was back. And I do that by finding my happy place on the basketball court. And everyone should find their happy place in nature, cooking, travel, whatever it is, because that's the place you don't feel any stress. And the basketball court is that place for me. And so that there's no rocket science to it. It takes work. And so what happens is that you got to work on your self-care and lift yourself up. And then others lift you up. You let and the big theme of the book is light, sharing the light, shining brightly. So if you let the light of others come in and help you heal, you can then pay it back to them and lift them up. And I call it the force multiplier effect, right? So we shine brightly together and we make this world a better place, because there's plenty of people that need help in this world. And I got plenty, and I welcome that in. And I don't wish cancer on anyone. It's tough.
Howard, that's kind of the mic drop moment for me where you said survivorship takes work. Because, all three of us are survivors, and absolutely. So what would you say to somebody who's at the start of that journey, who's at the start of something, facing stage 4? What do you say to someone like that in their time of need?
So I actually call it cancer whispering, and it's a form of mentorship. And I had people that came before me that took me under their wing, and I take people under their wing, whether it's blood or solid tumor cancer, doesn't matter. So, but if when I talk to someone that's diagnosed with stage 4, I tell them not to isolate. I tell them to not go at it alone if they can, if they have a care partner, or they can get one, or I can help them get one. And I tell them to actually become a student of this, because you got to understand, like a lot of older people, doctor, you just do what the doctor tells you. But we live in a collaborative time now. How do they know how you're feeling unless you don't tell them? And so I encourage the people to understand what they're going through, what they have choices, that they can get second opinions. And it does not need to be a death sentence. Although we live with a lot of death in stage 3 and 4 cancers, it doesn't need to be. 16.5 million people are living with cancer longer. And by 2030, there'll be 23 to 25 million. We are living longer. It's good news. There's good things coming, and it's coming faster. It is. So those are the advice I give to people that are really diagnosed. But it's okay to internalize and feel bad. And I can tell you this: I had steroid anger. I had moments of depression. I had moments of darkness. It's okay not to be okay. You got to let yourself be that way. but you just can't stay there for long periods of time, because then it gets dark, and then things can get bad. And so you've got to find that inner strength or that mental toughness to get out of bed each day. And whether it's just to go to the mailbox and get your coffee, or it's actually to do something like a bigger hike, or you gotta plan for that, and you gotta force yourself to do that.
Oh, wise words to live by. In fact, I'm going to quote what Bill Tomoff just also noted. You said, "Let the light of others help you heal." Really well said, Howard. Thank you so much. Hashtag people need people. Thanks for calling that out, Bill.
Yes, definitely. Howard, how did you find that? How did you find that resolve to keep going? Like when you were in moments of darkness, how did you find that strength to keep going? What inspired you to keep going?
So that's internally defined. But so the first point is I met this beautiful young lady named Lisa Naftali in Southern California. And we started dating, and I could see pretty much right away that, there was potential there to, head down the aisle together and make a life together. So that's motivation. The second is that I wanted to get away from being a patient. I wanted to be just a person. I didn't want someone always asking me about cancer and asking me how I feel. I wanted to get back to the new normal. Like people are now understanding after going through, almost 3 years of COVID. And so I wanted my life back, and you have to go grab it. You go claim it. And so on cancer number 1, I was rebuilding myself, and I met Lisa, and we ended up getting engaged and married in 1994. And I was still under surveillance. I was still being, checked out at UCLA Med Center. They relayed the information back to Dana-Farber. And, pretty soon you start to put cancer in the rearview mirror, because it wasn't part of my daily effort. The only part of it was where I was helping volunteer at the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, where I would talk to others with cancer. But I was not the central focus patient. I had my life back, and I was grateful for that.
I'm sure you were. Oh my goodness. So Howard, you talked a little bit before in terms of your miracle daughter, Emily, but how has she impacted your life?
Wow. First of all, from, being potentially sterile and not having my own child, we basically, Lisa and I we were up in the Silicon Valley at the time in Palo Alto, Los Altos area. And I was working in technology, and we made the decision to call for the sperm sample on ice. And we had it shipped out to San Jose to our in vitro fertilization clinic. And Lisa made 8 eggs, and they defrosted the sperm, and they took the best guys. I don't know how they determined that, in a test tube. They injected 4 back into 4 eggs and put them back in Lisa. And we went through the 9-month cycle, and we got a beautiful baby, Emily, that came out in August of 2001. And we were just beyond ecstatic. A healthy baby girl. Didn't even know if that could happen. And it was amazing. Just a great day to become a dad and a father, and thrilled for that. And, we're lucky, some people can't have kids at all, or you can adopt or surrogate. I was able to have 1 child.
Wow. That is amazing. And I just know how much you love her. And I've seen the picture even in the first few pages of your book. She's beautifully pictured in there. Now, 30 plus years later, you get the news of another cancer. So how did you hear the news about your colon cancer? Tell us more about that. So
it was actually 26 years. But
26. My bad.
I turned 50. It's okay. I turned 50, and it was time to go to do my annual physical. And, I had normal, irritable bowel and sometimes an upset stomach, but nothing remarkable. And age 50 was the age, and now it's 45 for, anything or any symptoms if you have them, or any genetics. But at age 50, he said, time to go for your colonoscopy. I said, okay, I scheduled it. I think I got the flu in April, but on June 4th of 2016, I did the prep, did the cleanse, and then I showed up. And the next thing, I woke up. My wife, Lisa, has my left hand, and I look up, and I actually knew the doctor, Dr. Phil Goldmeyer. And I said, Dr. Phil, everything's good, right? And he looked at me in this most serious look. He's wearing a mask, and his eyes, I could just tell. He's like, no. He goes, I found something high up in your cecum, which connects the small and large intestine. and I marked it. I took a piece of it. And when I find something, it's usually bad news. Well, 10 days later, I had 13.5 inches plus margin plus lymph nodes removed from my colon. And it's called a colon hemicolectomy or a colon resection. And I had to start all over again. I got the news that you have cancer. And this time, although it was devastating, and my family was out with my niece's high school graduation. And I was different, though. I was a dad, a husband. I'm 50 years old. And I wasn't a deer in the headlights. There was many more resources available to me. And I basically turned on the mental toughness and said, I have a greater motivation to live. And that is to watch my daughter walk down and graduate high school. That's all I cared about, is to just be there to see her graduate high school. She was a freshman at the time. And I started back, after getting a chemo port installed, which I still have. I'm still on surveillance. And I basically started chemotherapy in August of 2016, and I failed miserably. I did 12 cycles of what's called FOLFOX 5FU with a carry home pump every week, every other week. And I failed it because the cancer grew outside of my colon. I had another colon resection of 10.1 inches. I did a clinical trial. I failed that. And now we're the summer of 2017. I'm at the soccer national championships. My daughter was a goalie in 45 minutes north of Dallas, and I hadn't been feeling good. And my wife called my oncologist, and he said, I have an appointment for you to go check. I think you need your gallbladder emergency removed. Go to Baylor Hospital. It's a brand new facility north of Dallas. And I went there, and I was the only patient, and they did a scan and they did an ultrasound, and it wasn't my gallbladder. Cancer had spread. I actually had to call my oncologist, and he said, get home now. You are metastatic stage 4 colorectal cancer, or colon cancer specific, with the spread to your liver, your stomach lining called peritoneum and omentum, and your bowel. He goes, things got bad. And I said, nope. I said, I'm not going to let this interrupt my daughter's soccer. I'm going to stay for the semifinals. And then they won the national championships at U16. I flew home that evening with her. I tried to conceal it from her. She said she knew. And I came back to Michigan, and I got kicked off my clinical trial. They confirmed I was metastatic. And I basically went with my wife on my left and my sister, my twin on my right, and my mom on FaceTime. And it was a big cry fest with my oncologist and my physician's assistant. They said, listen, we're going to try for a Hail Mary. We're going to give you salvage chemotherapy, called irinotecan and Avastin. We got to do something. And I started that right away. And literally after 4 cycles every other week, I got a little bit of good news, like my sister's match in February of 90. I got a little bit of good news. I had regression, or as George Costanza on Seinfeld says, shrinkage. I got a minimal amount of shrinkage of my tumors. That was like the best news ever. And for that, you get more chemo. You get 4 more chemo. And wow. My wife and I then dove into the online resources of Colon Town and Blue Hope Nation and the Colorectal Cancer Coalition, looking for answers and to talk to real patients and to get mentorship or cancer whispering. And I was looking into this surgery called peritoneal cancers, called cytoreduction HIPAC, where they basically, if you've ever had Bronzino fish, where they debone you like a fish, they cut you from your sternum down to your pelvic bone. They go in there with microscopic glasses. They take out live and dead cancer cells. And for anything they miss, they pour hot chemo, seal you back up, and spin you around like a rotisserie chicken. It's called the shake and bake. It's kind of controversial because is the right chemo agent? Is it the right amount of time? But it's a 12.5-hour surgery. It is the mother of all surgeries. It took me a year to recover from all that scar tissue, and it has been life extending. Miracle number 3. Imagine that.
Wow. I don't know about the rest of our community, but I'm sitting here going, wow.
Crazy.
That is incredible. So, Howard, how are you doing today? And what are your goals?
Wow. This is amazing that I get to answer that question, because on September 19th, I became no evidence of disease for 3 years.
Okay, let's just pause and be like, we got to celebrate that. Woohoo! Come on, community. Let's celebrate Howard. That's incredible.
Amazing. So I am now putting Humpty Dumpty version 2.0 back together again in a whole different way. So Silicon Valley tech entrepreneur. I'll now always won't stop being an entrepreneur, but I am now, a published author, a podcaster, a speaker. I'm here to motivate, educate, and inspire and tell my story and live a life of resilience to hope. I am on a mission, to make this world a better place. And you guys are all joining in with me, and I'm joining in with you. We are doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Get a hell yeah from this community. That's really inspiring, Howard. From that monster surgery and sort of the onset and the progression to where you are today, that's a human miracle.
Absolutely. And I'm grateful and I'm blessed and I'm lucky. And I said it for the third time on the show because it's the truth.
Absolutely. Wow.
So Howard, what inspired you to write your book, Shining Brightly, and what is the key message of it? We're all dying to know.
Yeah.
So I have my book. I don't know if you can see it on the screen a little bit here. I'll put it up.
Yeah, I'm going to do this. And
show us again, Howard.
Yeah, show us again.
Show us again. Okay.
Awesome.
Nice.
I love the cover.
Spot. Well, that is my energy going up to the light bulb, and that dove, it's not a phoenix, even though it could be like Rise of the Phoenix. The dove is a symbolism, and the light bulb is shining the light of peace, love, and hope. And that is what we need to do to make this world a better place. We are taught lessons as young kids in different religions and different cultures to be able to repair this world, to live a life of kindness for thy brother and thy sister, and also to be able to make sure that we are helping others. And this is the message of the book. The book is a book about living a life plan according to you. If you are unhappy with something, you need to change it. And by lifting yourself up and then lifting others, this is how we shine. And this is the world. The world is filled with negativity and filled with yucky stuff. You don't have to live that way. You are your own, boss and can do that with others. And that's the group that we have formed here together as cancer survivors and advocates. And we will bring others with us because we know we've been cut down to our core. And when you want to build that back up again, you have a choice. And that's it. So there's the shining the light is the theme of the book. And the book ends with hope, right? Because without hope, so it's called Sharing Hope. And sharing hope can be a currency now. So we didn't get to hug much during COVID, but now hopefully we can start sharing hugs. We can share love. You can, buy someone a cup of coffee as a random act of kindness. But sharing hope's that motivation. Okay, my motivation to see Emily graduate high school and now college, I am now daring enough, okay, at a 3-year point of no evidence of disease, I'm going to walk her down the aisle, whenever that's going to be. I am now putting it out there. We have it on record. I'm going to walk my daughter at the right time down the aisle. That's the motivation I need.
Wow. And Howard, can you share a little bit more about how you wrote the book? You shared a little bit earlier. I want to give our readers a little peek behind the curtain on how you did it.
Excellent question. So you have to know your strengths. And I am not a great writer. I happen to love speaking. And my book editor, David Crum, Front Edge Publishing and ReadTheSpirit.com. So he took me out because he was saying goodbye to me. He didn't think I was going to live. And we've been friends since I moved here to Michigan in 2005. And that luncheon took 2 or 3 hours. And he said, do you want to leave a legacy? And we started writing things down on a napkin. And I used to do this in Silicon Valley. All the best ideas are written down on a napkin. And I ended up, he said, do you want to write a book? And I said, I don't think so. It was daunting to me. I couldn't even imagine doing it because writing is not my thing. So I said, I'll get back to you. I went home and told Lisa, I said, David wants to write a book. Maybe it's a short book, leave a legacy for Emily and the rest of the world. And I called him back and I said, I have one request. And he said, only one? I said, yeah. I said, if you allow me to record on Zoom, okay, because we have the tools, we have the technology. This is right before COVID in October of 19. I want to bring on Zoom influential people from my family, my friends, my business, my career, my medical teams, and I want to interview them. And those transcripts will become drafts. And those drafts then can be edited into chapters. And I basically have done now 230 some odd Zoom sessions with my publishing team. and I had over 100 interviews with people. And so the book is written a little differently because I'm sort of the MC and the maestro within the chapters, because there's not just my voice, there's lots of voices in there. And it's a cool read. Each chapter builds upon it, and you can, it talks about family and culture and friends and mentorship. And there's lots of great lessons, and there's homework at the end of every chapter. And it's just a cool way to write a book. But it didn't take 1 year, it took 3. It took a long time to get it done. And now we're here, and people can do that too. So we looked at an obstacle and we went around it. We did Zoom, and we now have all that B-roll, and we've gotten it today where I have a hard copy, a paperback, and a Kindle ebook now for the world to consume and to learn from and to share back and get interactive with me. And it's exciting. And this is part of the Humpty Dumpty 2.0, Howard Brown, shining brightly and helping others shine brightly too.
Wow. And I swear this LinkedIn Live is not brought to you by Zoom, but this is a plug for, like, repeat that. How many Zooms did you have?
238 every Wednesday. I've only missed 2 in 3 years. And it's great. You want to tell your story. So your stories, people need to share, and there's lessons to be learned from that. And so I am now a published author, and I'm so proud of putting myself out there, taking that chance and leaving that legacy. And pick little hint, there's more to come. We're going to take a deeper dive. We're going to shine brightly on survivorship for cancer and life. We're going to take a deeper dive on mentorship is leadership and entrepreneurship. We're going to take a deeper dive at inner faith and getting to know the other. This is going to be a series. There's more coming. Once you get the bug, it keeps coming. So there's more coming, and I'm learning along the way. And what a great thing, because I'm using my life experience to shape my own life moving forward. The story is still being painted, and helping others and learning from others too, because we don't do this alone in this world. And I'm excited about this whole opportunity.
Yeah. You have really, really demonstrated the power of community, not just your own community, but what you can do for others in a wider global community. Thank you, Howard. Wow. So we like to ask a couple of these questions to all of our guests. Howard, you have been a 2-time, very significant cancer survivor. What is the silver lining for you in all of this?
Is that a question for the audience or for me?
No, it's for you. And then we can go to the audience too.
All right. Well, let them answer too, because I'm very interested to hear how others and their perspectives. But I will tell you this. All right.
Oh, I love it.
Shining so brightly, you got to have shades. And these are shining brightly shades. And this is my marquee and my little, my prop. And we need them. You need them, because this makes you feel like a movie star and a rock star, or whatever it is you want to be. And I just want to say that we all get knocked down. You can get back up again. It takes work, but it can be done. And it's really important. I had so many people cheer me on and let that in. I had so many people of different religions praying for me, and even atheists. It doesn't matter. And taking that in, and I allowed myself to be vulnerable. I took help. I didn't want to, but I took help. I took help in fundraising with a GoFundMe to pay medical bills. I took help in my diet and people bringing me, protein shakes so I could gain weight. I took help in writing this book. Taking help isn't a weakness. It's a strength, and you build on that.
That's a mic drop moment, Tim. Taking help is not a weakness. It's a sign of strength. And that is very wise words. And that is a silver lining. That's a huge lesson. Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Definitely. Okay. So Howard, we asked this question also of all of our guests and all of you who are watching as well. What, in one word today, now this could change day to day, but right now, what is your one word perspective on cancer?
I'm going to cheat. I want to say 2 words, because the first word I thought of popped in my head was SUX. cancer sucks. Okay. It is hard on the patient. It is hard on your caregiver. It is hard on your families. It's no fun, but I'd rather focus on the word hope, that we need hope as that fuel, that rocket fuel to get us through the hard times, to celebrate the victories, and use hope, because without it, you can kind of be rudderless. And hope is the fuel that I use, that gets me through, and I hope it's contagious and you all catch it.
Yeah.
I love that word.
So,
Terry
Tim,
says,
I knew this question was
yeah,
coming. And so the whole time I was like, what's my word today? And it was about halfway through your story here, Howard, that it came to me that my word was going to be hopeful. So it totally aligns with hope. And I see Jennifer and Cara and others, and courage, Savio. There's a theme here that you're really inspiring us all with hope. And so thank you for that.
Yes. My word was going to be inspiring.
Oh.
So along similar lines, hope, inspire. Savio says courage. And Savio says the silver lining is knowing there are a community of survivors like myself. I'm here to echo the sentiment that cancer may knock you down, but it doesn't mean you are out.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Powerful stuff. Thank you, Savio, for that. And thank you for all of your comments. Yeah, what a great conversation today. So we're starting to wrap up our conversation. Howard, is there anything else that you want to say, or Erica? Well, let's go to Howard first.
So I want to thank you for this platform, because I hope to motivate, educate, and inspire, and share it by sharing my story. And we are all a team, and life is a team sport. And I told you in the green room, cancer is a team sport. We have to band together. And as we band together, we are stronger in our numbers. We are stronger in our power, our light and resource. And together we will pull more people forward. And that, it's a team sport. That's how we get stronger.
Their mic drop.
I know there's several mic drops here for you, Howard, today. And I want to celebrate you. So you showed us something earlier in the green room. Tell us about your day one Amazon experience that you've had so far.
Well, so my day one Amazon experience has been overwhelming. I'm getting just lots of kudos, congratulations. Amazon opened up lots of things. You can actually look inside the book now. The one thing is, less and less people are doing these book signings. And so I have this little thing, it's called a book plate. It's a sticker. And I will mail anyone that orders either Amazon, or if you want to contact me at shiningbrightly.com, you can order directly from me, because Amazon takes a big chunk. And I'll send you a custom book plate autographed to you that you can stick in the cover of your book. And it's just amazing the amount of support that I'm getting for this. And I plan on an audio book, after the first of the year, and we're going to continue with the series of books. And this is an exciting time for me. I'm feeling great. Emily's graduating. We're empty nesters, and onward, we're going to charge forward.
Yeah. And what did you tell me? You are number one in what category today?
Oh, you picked that up. So unbelievable. I was number one in the entire cancer category for all Kindle for probably a minute, but I got the flag. And I am also number one in colorectal cancer, number one in lymphatic cancer for new seller. And these are all just affirming things that people have an interest in self-help and healing. And again, this is not just a cancer book. This is a story of my life on how to live a resilient life, leading it towards community service and hope. And we all got to just keep trying harder every day.
Oh, wonderful.
Absolutely. Well, we want to remind everybody that you can find Howard's book at shiningbrightly.com. The link's in the comments and down below in the ticker. So definitely check it out. And Howard, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for inspiring us all today by sharing your story and your perspectives. We really appreciate it.
Excellent. I hope to see you soon in about early November to come to your live event. I can't wait. I want to meet you and get a real hug.
Yes, me too. Me too. Thanks, Howard.
That's amazing. Howard, thank you so much. Congratulations. Keep shining brightly, and we look forward to following your journey.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Tim, that was so good.
Erica is so good. I feel so inspired, don't you?
Absolutely. And there's something that Howard mentioned that I thought was a really interesting phrase he used, the cancer whisperer. And I just, that mentorship, how gracious of him to be able to do that for someone else. And I think that's actually really important part of the healing journey, is doing things for others.
Definitely. And I've been, as we've been having more conversations on the show, and as I've been talking to more people in the cancer community, I've been hearing about more and more people who are, I guess you could call them cancer mentors, which is so important. I love that idea and that idea. So absolutely.
The cancer whisperer, I was like, ooh, goosebumpy. So I just think that's an important part of a healing journey. So thank you to all of you who mentor others, who are receiving mentorship, and just everybody in between. Yeah, what a great community we have here, Tim. We're really lucky.
Yes, thank you all of you who showed up today. And we are always looking for guests who want to be on the show. If you have a connection to cancer, you're a survivor, a supporter, a patient, no matter what your connection is, we would love to talk to you. So if you're interested on being the show, please send me a direct message and let's have a conversation. Also, a reminder that the in-person Showing Up Perspectives on Cancer event is just a little bit over a month away on November 5th. I can't wait. So go to perspectivesoncancer.com and you can sign up for free there to be at the event. Hopefully Howard will be there. I know Savio is going to be there, and can't wait to meet many of you there at the event in person. So Erica, who is our guest next week on Showing Up?
Next week, our guest is Pamela Brinker. She is a cancer supporter, medical professional, and author. So we've got a theme here, a couple of authors. I'm really excited to talk to Pamela and share her story with all of you.
Can't wait. So thank you everyone for showing up to another perspective, another episode. And I can't talk, but thank you for showing up to
another perspective, lots of perspectives.
All of the perspectives, all of the episodes, and we'll see you next week. It's time to dance. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.